I don't think it's a very controversial thing to say that everybody has their own different goals and opinions and ideas of what they think a successful life looks like. Some people want a big career, some people want to be sports stars, some people just want their free time to do whatever they wish with. And that's all okay. We all have our different ideas of what a great life looks like, but we all have an idea of what a great life looks like for ourselves. The problem is though, a lot of people never really get there, and there's a few reasons for that. In this video I want to talk about a few of them, explain how we can kind of go above them and continue to grow all the way through our life, and get to what we want to achieve ultimately. If you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe, as I do make videos like this every single day, and I'd appreciate it if you could join us for the journey. Anyway, let's start off by talking about this overarching topic which I previously mentioned. We all have our different goals, but not everybody gets to obtain them. It's not that it's impossible for them, but we get to a point where we feel like we can't do it, or there's no need to do it. These are two very different circumstances, but these are oftentimes the biggest things holding people back from getting what they wish. Now, we can categorize these two individually. The first one is contentment. Now, contentment is not necessarily a bad thing if you have genuinely got to the point that you wish. Some people have made it. Some people have got what they want, what they needed, and that is honestly great. There's always development that you can do, but if you're genuinely happy at the stage that you are, why develop any more? You've already obtained what you wish. But then we have the other side of contentment, which is the illusion of happiness because of where we are. So let's say we wanted to, get a new promotion. But then we think about it, it's like, well, we could get the promotion, we might even have a fair chance of running for it, but we're happy with this job, it makes enough, and we don't really want that pressure anyway. But in the back of our minds, we know that we do actually want the job. That is the wrong idea of contentment, right? It's not worth it, because we don't get what we want. Then we move over to the absolute opposite side, which is a complete lack of contentment, which often manifests itself in basically a lack of drive, motivation, confidence, all these sorts of things. And that's the opposite. It's not that we're happy with where we are, it's that we simply don't think that we can get to where we want to go. It's too far away from where we are right now. It just seems impossible, no matter how easy it might actually be. We don't think that we have the skills to get to this next level. And this, more than anything, is a depressing part. But in both scenarios, one thing is common. We don't get what we want. So how do we break that barrier and move past it? It's with continued growth, really, and continued development. The problem that we're talking about here is basically stagnation in life. It's something which a lot of people face, and you see it all the time. We don't even need to make this about money or career development or anything like that. Just stagnation in life. Again, if people are genuinely happy, that's fine. But we hear reports all the time that a certain number of people aren't happy with a job, a certain number of people, struggle with obesity-related illnesses and all these sorts of things. It's like, that doesn't sound or even look like happiness. So many people are depressed, and we've got to at some point start asking why it is. In my personal opinion, it's because the dream dies out. It gets further and further away, seems more and more impossible, and we just don't really see the emphasis on pursuing it anymore. And that's why development is important, in my opinion. I say it all the time. I spoke about this in a long detailed video just a few days ago. Development is something which for a lot of people does even just start to stop at school. Because not everyone goes to college or university. Some people are just done from that point. They don't have any career ambitions, they don't have any life ambitions, and their high points were all in school. Some people stop at college if that's their highest level of education. Some people stop at university. But for most people, I'd say, the end of university age is when the dreams start to solidify and, people start to become content with where they are. Because, yes, they could chase a childhood dream, but, they're fine now, so why would you? That's something which I personally do not want to fall into the category of. I know that many people out there are along that road. So the question is, how do we continue our lifelong development? The first thing is to remember and constantly remind ourselves of the importance of our dreams. It doesn't matter what it is. Let's say I want to run a marathon one day, but I work 6 days a week. Let's just keep writing down why I want to run the marathon. Let's write down how it's going to feel, what it's going to look like, when I'm going to do it, and try stick to that. It's still a visualization. It's still going to be in the mind. If I have to write down every single day, 2025, January the 2nd, I'm going to do the marathon, I'm going to have to do it. And if I write it down every single day, it's never going to get out of my mind. If that's what we need to do to keep ourselves on track, we need to do it. And the goals can change. Obviously, a marathon's a very specific goal, but, if it's talk about, I want to become a CEO, we don't need to write CEO as in the end goal on the page, or starting our own business. We can write, this month, let's try and get a higher position. This month, let's try grow the business. This month, let's try do this, that. We don't have to skip to the end goal, but we need to look at the points along the road which ultimately build the pyramid and see how high up we can get, and that by completing the goals along the way. That's one of the things that I personally have been doing and would recommend. It's easy to carry on with the path of development and not fall into the stagnation path, but you must genuinely want to achieve more. If you don't, that is okay, let's be honest. Like I said at the beginning, there's a point for everybody where enough is enough. And that's honestly fine in my opinion. We don't need to all be this, that and the other. We could just be happy on our level. But if we're not on our genuine level, I believe in my life experience, it does reflect in how we feel. Because we know that we're not doing what we are supposed to. The world doesn't necessarily know it, but we do. And one of the most important people, if not the most important person that you can tell the truth to, is yourself. So you've got to ask, are you going down a path that you want? And again, if the answer is no, you must look at why that is. And then, once you've achieved the goals that you want, there's other forms of development that you can achieve. So, I wanted to start making a YouTube channel like this. I'm doing it now. That was a goal that I've achieved because I'm still making these videos. Obviously, that's more of a long-term goal as well. But let's say it does start to pick up, as it is. Then what do? I don't have to stagnate at this point, even if it is the goal. I can then utilize the free time and extra revenue that I make from this channel to go and explore the world, because I don't have to work. I could use this channel to market something else. I could use this channel to develop myself and my personal goals and discuss it like I am doing. All these are different points that we can all sort of use in a way to grasp the point that I'm trying to say here. Development looks very different for everybody, and that's honestly fine. But most people seem to, for some reason, give up very early on. I always ask people, especially people older than me, because, to be honest, I want to learn from people who know. And unfortunately, it's sometimes the people who haven't achieved their dreams that can teach you the most. So I always look, what was your best time period? What was your highest achievement? What was your most successful time period? And, like I say, a lot of people say, well, I had a great time in school, college, university, anything like that. That's okay and that's great. But if somebody's 40 or 50 talking about how school was their best time, in my opinion, something may have gone a little bit wrong in the middle. It's about enjoying the journey. But to enjoy the journey, we must be doing something that we love. And that's why stagnation is something which, in my opinion, we should not let affect us. No matter what we do, we can be in a dead-end job, working however many hours. But we can still find our pleasure in developing something else. Whether it's working a job that doesn't make us that much money, but we still go to the gym and we still do our side hustles. That's another form of development. It's like the video that I just filmed a little bit ago. I spoke about the fact that some of the tough times are sometimes the times that you're most proud to look back on. And when we talk about development, the same's true. Stagnation is often a factor or a fact of not being able to achieve things, and that may lead back to the topic of that video. But my overall message in a way is, we need to understand that we can do things. If necessary, break it down into small tasks, subtasks, and never really give up on the dream is what I'm personally learning. But yeah, I want to continue on this path myself. I hope this video was somewhat insightful to you guys. I do want to share with you what I learn, what I am learning, what I'm trying to learn, what I'm doing, all that kind of good stuff. So I appreciate it that you guys are still watching. If you enjoy these sorts of videos, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe, and please do share it with somebody who needs it. I hope it was useful. I hope it wasn't too much like a rant. Obviously, a lot of this is based off my opinion, so to structure it in a certain way is always quite interesting, and you know how I go about doing that. Sometimes I fail, sometimes I win, but hopefully it was an understandable and easily digestible video for you. Thank you so much for watching it till this point, and I do hope to again see you in our next one. Thank you again, and see you soon.